Hello, friends. Welcome to our pre-race podcast for the 2025 New Belgium Asheville Marathon and Half. With us today, we have Daphne, our race director. We have Amy, our administrative ninja, and Allison, our visual virtuoso. I'm Justin, that guy that takes your picture out on the course. And we hope that you find this helpful as you all get ready for the race. So before we get started on the race details, it's important that we recognize a few of the organizations that make this event possible. In addition, we have some amazing charity partners that the event is supporting this year. So let's recognize them first.
Yeah, we are really excited and happy to be supporting different organizations than we have in the past for this race. Some local organizations that are helping with the hurricane relief efforts. Swannanoa Valley Christian Ministries Neighbor Care Program, which is a free medical clinic that was spurred after the hurricane in Swannanoa. We are supporting them. United Way of Asheville and Buncombe County and CORE, North Carolina, are both long-term recovery initiatives that are supporting local Helene recovery efforts, and then I Dream Athletes Foundation. So we do have some folks that are fundraising for these nonprofits, and I believe we're almost to $10,000 for all of them. So keep giving. The money will be used locally here for the hurricane recovery.
And we have, of course, a long list of amazing sponsors. We couldn't do it without them. First and foremost, New Belgium. They're our presenting sponsor. And we're so grateful for their support and just everything they've done, not just for us, but for our community as a whole. They just hit the ground running when the hurricane hit and haven't stopped yet. So we're grateful for them. Appalachian Community Relief is helping with the water station. We have Asheville Spring Water, Beer City CrossFit helping with the water station, Biltmore Farms, Bridge and Tunnel Coffee. They'll have your caffeine fix on race morning, so you got to have that. Brown Mountain Bodywork, City of Asheville. Of course, we couldn't do this without the support from the City of Asheville, so that's incredibly huge. DJ's Pickles, they'll have pickle juice out on the course for you. We have several hotel partners, Doubletree Hotel, Hampton Inn, and Hilton Garden Inn, Asheville downtown, and then also Wrong Way Cabins. Fleet Feet Asheville, we're partnered with them year round. Couldn't do it without them and all their support. Mission Health HCA came on board as a sponsor this year, and we're really grateful for their support. They immediately rallied and got the support and the supplies and things that we needed in here immediately when the hurricane hit, and it was amazing. So we're very grateful for their support. High Elements is a mobile sauna and cold plunge studio. They're new to the marathon this year, but they've been at several of our events. You're going to definitely want to check that out. And if you haven't reserved a spot yet, you can go back into Race Roster through the race store and book your spot for the sauna and cold plunge. iHeartMedia, I Dream Athletes, of course, is charity partner, but also sponsors athletes. Jam Bar is our nutritional bar and energy sponsor. Lionhead Financial Planning. Mayhex Sports Medicine, they'll be out along with Mission Health and HCA providing medical support. Recover Brands is our apparel sponsor this year. Your race shirt, your Appalachian Trilogy merch, all your extra merch that you purchased in Race Roster, quarter zips, tanks, all that good stuff, all that Asheville Marathon branded stuff. Recover is supplying that, and they will be, if you missed it in Race Roster, they will be set up at the Expo, and you can purchase from them directly there. And there also is an online store. That link is also on Race Roster. That will ship straight to your door. The Fold Bodywork Studio. And last but not least, Mr. Wayne Boynton is one of our award sponsors, and we're very grateful for his support as well.
Awesome. Such an amazing crew. We're so grateful for them, especially this year. And, that being said, before we kind of jump into course details and some of the questions that everyone has, it's been a super difficult year for those of us that live in WNC. We witnessed a catastrophic storm, and the devastation that followed was really something more than anyone could have ever even imagined. So as the recovery efforts continue to this day, I just wanted to give everyone a chance, like, what does this event mean to you this year? Not just as a local, but as a runner who's seen how that's affected an activity that we all love to do. I don't know, whoever wants to kick it off first. Amy?
I'll start. I think it represents hope. I mean, when the hurricane hit, we had literally nowhere to run. I mean, our greenways were destroyed. The trails, if you were a trail runner, all the trails, the trees were down, washed out. There literally, the parks were flooded. There literally was nowhere for us to run. And so, as all this is being built back slowly but surely, and we're finally able to get back out there and run, it's hope. It offers hope to all of us. And as the River Arts District has started to recover and runners have started coming back out, it's amazing to see them even in places that the greenway still might not be. It definitely doesn't look like it used to, and in parts it's still not there. But it just is. It's hope. That's what I see.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Amy. I think one of us said the other day, I think it was Daphne, said, like, we hope that this race will breathe life back into our city. And I truly feel like that. Man, I'm getting emotional. I feel like watching my hometown suffer such a catastrophic event has been harder than I ever thought that we would have ever experienced or been. And more than just the running, just seeing people come back to Asheville is going to be just such a breath of fresh air for all of us. We've all been in downtown areas and things, and just seeing empty restaurants and empty places where there used to be hour-long waits to get in. And having an event like this, being able to bring life back to our city that has been just, affected in more ways than we can even say, is awesome. And getting to be a part of it is even better, and getting to have a small hand in bringing these runners in is just really amazing.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that. I think, first of all, when the hurricane hit and we saw the destruction that had happened in the River Arts District and in Asheville especially, my first thought was, will this race even be able to happen? I mean, that's our course. So, is this even going to be possible? And I know this was the end of September, and when we really start, promoting the race more and getting people excited, and there was weeks of uncertainty of, could a course even be planned? Could a race even be planned? So just to see how far we've come since the end of September is just inspiring. I've had my boots on the ground and been in Asheville a lot, certifying the course for USA Track and Field and to make it a Boston qualifier. And so I have witnessed the barrenness of Asheville, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen in the city and in town. Even moving around on my bike is much easier, and it shouldn't be. I don't want it to be. But I think that, my goal and mission for this and all the hardships it's been to even get 26 miles in town for runners to be able to run, is that people will come back to Asheville and see that it is still here. It's still a beautiful city. And I think the thing that has happened for me is I have a new appreciation for just how beautiful this area was before the hurricane. And I know that it will come back and be even more beautiful. It's just going to take time. So I think those are the biggest things. And I'm excited that people are coming to Asheville and supporting Asheville, because Asheville as a whole, as a city, needs it. And the city said to me in October, we need this race to happen in Asheville. We need you guys to come to Asheville. And so I think, there will be times, I'm sure, where many of you, especially running the marathon in that River Arts District area, will see firsthand the destruction of what has happened. But I will say every single day looks different, and I'm not exaggerating. Every day looks different in the River Arts District. Because I've been down there, and one day there's Army Corps of Engineers on the river, the next day there's bulldozers picking up huge amounts of rubble and steel and moving them off site. So it's constantly changing, and to see all of the support and help trying to get that area cleaned up is just monumental. It's amazing.
Yeah. I just think that, for all of us, whether people were watching video reels online from where they live, or people who live here and have water in basements and trees on cars and just all the things, the one thing that was kind of a rock going through all this was community. Being able to gather together, encourage each other, and know that we can come back from this. And I think that this event is going to be a testament to that. It's going to be a chance for us to grieve loss together and also share hope for the future. And I'm excited. I think, like Daphne said, we need it. Our city needs it. And for all of you that are listening, we're excited for you to come. Like, we are welcoming you with the biggest open arms that we have. So,
yep.
That being said, let's jump right into the questions. We do have an extensive event guide that lists out all of the details of the event, from the Race Expo and Shakeout Run all the way through the finish, and we have a Plogging event the day after. So make sure you guys all check that out. It will be emailed to you. There'll be a link on the website. It's got all the details, and we're not going to read through those all one by one, because that would be super boring. So what we did last week is we sent out a questionnaire, and we said, hey, what's on your mind? What are you thinking about? You got questions as race day approaches? And we are going to go through those questions pretty off the cuff here. So if you all wanted an authentic podcast, this is us doing our best on the fly. So let's just jump right in. We're going to read these questions one by one and give you guys answers. And so let's start off here. Amy, this would probably be you. The first question is, can we change our shirt sizes when we pick them up at the expo?
So we don't do shirt exchanges at the expo, and the reason for that is because we want to be sure everybody gets the shirt size that they registered for. So you can exchange your shirt if you need to after the race. We'll have them at the merchandise tent, and you can bring your unused, unsweaty, clean shirt to the merchandise tent, and we can swap the size for you.
Awesome. The next question, I think this is going to be you, Daphne, since you've pretty much lived out on the course for the last couple days. Can you give us a broad description of the course? Mostly, where can we find the major hills?
Yes, the hill question. This is Asheville, you guys. Yeah, so this year the course is different for both the half and the marathon. We do expect these courses to be temporary for this year. Just so you know, every day we're in communication with the city and with the parks on what is going to be open, what's open now, because of the construction. So things have changed and shifted on our course. So if you looked at it a month ago, we are using our backup course. So just so you know that, especially for the marathon, the half really hasn't changed. So yeah, you will go through some beautiful downtown neighborhoods this year. We've added on the North Asheville and Grove Park neighborhood. You've not done that yet for the marathon and half in downtown. And you will run through the Montford neighborhood, by UNCA on the Reed Creek Greenway. Then you get some lovely downtown city miles, and then River Arts District to New Belgium for the half. The marathon and the half split just after mile 12. So it's pretty cool because if you have a marathon friend and you're doing the half and you want to run together, you could do that essentially until mile 12. After mile 12, you're going to go through a roundabout, and the marathoners are going to head towards the river, and the halfers are going to head up Robert Street and then across Craven Bridge to finish. So the half marathon runners are not going to have the same greenway miles along the river that you have in the past. If you've done this race before, you're basically headed from town to New Belgium. So it's a very scenic route, but it does have more hills than probably what you're used to with us in the past. So mile 2.5 goes up Kimberly Avenue, and that is a hill. Broadway, which is headed up Montford Avenue, that is also a hill. Mile 6.5 in Montford and mile 9 in Montford, both are hills. And all of this is on Ride with GPS. So if you pull up the cue sheet and the elevation chart on the bottom, you can see exactly where those hills are. There's a little stinker hill. It's steep at mile 11.75. That's at the water station. And then mile 12.5 going up Robert Street is a slight incline going up. And the marathon is mostly flat after mile 12, with the exception of the Robert Street at 19.5. And Craven Street is a slight hill to get to the finish at New Belgium. It's not a steep hill, but it is sort of like a false flat. So yeah, I would say it's probably not going to be the fastest course for folks this year. We do expect to be able to go back next year to a lot of the flatter miles that we've had in the past, but this year there's just too many closures.
Good to know. And yeah, definitely check out those maps online. I love the elevation map. You can actually follow it. If you're on your desktop computer, you can follow the elevation map with your mouse, and it will show you exactly where those are on the course. So you can kind of mentally just prepare. And the great thing is a lot of those hills are in really beautiful areas. So and really cool neighborhoods. So they're not, they're a little bit more pleasant.
Yeah, especially the Montford Hills. Montford's really beautiful.
Yeah. It always, yeah, it's not just, it always makes it a little nicer when it's like beautiful surroundings and
Yeah.
So moving on, let's see here. Allison, maybe this would be the best one for you. Will there
Okay.
be a way to schedule an Uber after? Really didn't want to carry my phone for 26.2 miles.
Okay,
Uh,
so you can always maybe borrow someone else's phone. I don't know how Uber, I think you have to have the actual phone to get in the Uber though. You have to like give them a code
Yeah,
maybe.
I think
I
so.
haven't I haven't Ubered in a long time. Um, I'm in my minivan era. Um, and but I think that you might have to have the phone. What I will tell you is that we have shuttles back to the start. So you will be able to catch one of our shuttles. They will be leaving pretty regularly, like I'm talking 10 or 15 minutes. Once the bus is full, they'll go on back downtown. And so you shouldn't have to wait long at New Belgium for a shuttle to be full and go on back downtown to your car. You can always also, if you're willing to risk it, check your phone and bag check. We will have a bag drop at the start and you'll be able to pick that up at the finish. There's no guarantee. We're not liable for your things. Um, but we do try to keep them as secure as possible. We will only let you pick them up because your race number will correspond with your bag number, but we can't be held liable for it either. So it's really up to you. But I would say if you're not wanting to carry your phone, your best bet is the shuttle.
Excellent. Okay, the next question, it says, I live about 90 minutes away and would love to spend some time and money in downtown Asheville after the race. Will there be a place we can shower after the race? I'm not planning on staying overnight, so I don't want to buy a hotel room.
Okay. Yeah, if you spend the night in one of the hotels, it's easy because most of them will do a late checkout for you for our participants. But if you don't want to go that route, I would suggest if you're a YMCA member, you can go to the Y and get a shower. It's in downtown, close to the start line, close to where the shuttles will drop you off after the race. I'm not sure of other gyms that might have memberships like that. I just know I'm a Y member, so that's option in different cities. But we don't have showers available at New Belgium at the finish.
Okay. It's good to know. And also, like, Allison mentioned this earlier. Anybody that's coming from out of town, we would just love if you would visit some of the local businesses in Asheville. We've got an amazing food scene here, just some really great stuff. And, a lot of those businesses in the wake of the hurricane would, again, welcome you with open arms. So please, if you're coming from out of town, like, make plans to check out some restaurants, stop in, and definitely make that part of your trip. That would mean so much to all of us in town.
I think we're planning on putting a restaurant guide out with the event guide. I've got it started and I need to make some additions to it, but I've broken it down in types of food and everything. And so you should have a restaurant guide with your event guide.
Awesome. And if you are signed up for the marathon, you will get that email for sure. We'll send it out to our newsletter database as well, just so that everybody can see that and enjoy some delicious food in Asheville.
Yeah, I was just really quick going to say AIR, which is Asheville Independent Restaurants, and Asheville Downtown Association are both part of the race this year, and they have reached out to their restaurants and shops in town, and we're putting together a list that will be with Allison's list that she was talking about of places to get discounts by showing your runner bib when you're there for the weekend. So be watching for that.
Oh, that's awesome. So good. The next question is, how many people have registered so far? How many do you expect in the half marathon and how many in the full? So the race, I just checked this right before we hopped on here. We have already participants from 40 states, 3 countries, including Puerto Rico, Nairobi, and Romania. And in the past, most of our races, usually by race day, have participants from all 50 states. So we definitely anticipate that. Right now, where we stand with the half marathon, we are just over 1,300 runners. And we expect by race day for that number to be between like 1,500 and 1,700 for the half marathon. And then for the full marathon, we are around 600 right now. And we expect that to kind of be the same number for race day. If you haven't signed up for a marathon by this point, it's not likely that you will. So we might get a couple, but that's where we're at right now. Moving on to the next question. This will probably be you, Amy. Any large or extra large race shirts from previous races?
Yes, so we always have at the Race Expo, we always have a merchandise area that has all of our vintage shirts and hats and buffs and all those things, fun things from previous years, and they'll be selling at a discount at the Race Expo.
Yeah, and those are really popular. So if you love some cool vintage swag, get there early. It's kind of first come, first serve. There's like Amy said, all kinds of cool stuff mixed in there. So be sure you check that out in the merch area. Next question: do the half and full start at the same time? Allison, go for it.
Yeah, they do. They start downtown in Pack Square Park, right in front of our big city building that's iconic to Asheville. It's a great place to start. Lots of parking nearby. So yeah, they start at the same spot, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, and as Daphne mentioned earlier, the two follow the same course up until about mile 12, I believe she said. So that's great. You start at the same time, and if you're a marathoner and you want to run with your half marathoner friend, you can for most of the race.
Yep.
Next question: are there any pre or post events or gatherings? Yes, I think I mentioned a couple of them earlier. Of course, we have the Expo at the Doubletree Hotel. It starts at 11 a.m. and it goes through 7 p.m. Best way to pick up your bib. Meet some of our awesome vendors. We'll have merchandise there. It'll be awesome. Good time. The Shakeout Run, that's new to the event this year. Shakeout Run is going to happen at 1 p.m. at New Belgium. I believe it's about a 3-mile run, kind of just shake out the nerves. If you've been following us on Instagram, you know there's a lot of running influencers that are joining us this year from kind of all over the country. They'll be there. So if you want to meet them, that'd be a great time to do that. And then lastly, this year we're also doing a plogging event on Sunday. That's the day after the race at 11 a.m. And this is kind of a chance to just get together, kind of move your legs, and we just clean up any messes that might have been left for the race or that maybe were there before the race. We want to leave our community looking better than when we found it. And so, yeah, we'll just kind of divide up into groups and walk areas of the course and pick up, whether it's those little tabs that rip off of gels or maybe a water cup that somebody held on to for a while and discarded. We just want to make sure we get everything. So it'll be a fun time to just catch up with people, kind of share some race highlights. If you're interested in that, make sure you go to the website. In the drop down, there's a page for the Plogging event, and you can just put your email and name in there, just saying, hey, I'm interested in this. And then as we get closer to the event, we'll send out information of where to meet that day and how to participate. Next question. Can you have therapy dogs throughout the race to give us a boost? That is an amazing idea. I love it.
I love that.
Dogs. Everybody here. We are all dog people. Unfortunately, I don't know how we could pull that off, but we will definitely put that in the bin of ideas for things.
Let's just hope someone brings a really good dog. You know,
Really cute.
a golden retriever. I hope there's a golden retriever out there giving high fives,
Yes.
like the iconic Boston dog.
Yeah.
High paw.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever photographed a race where there's not a really cute dog there. So there'll be some out there. Just keep your eyes open. Uh, let's
Don't bring
see.
it if it's not friendly, though.
Yeah. Daphne, I think you kind of answered this, but is there an elevation map for the course?
Yes, it's on the Asheville Marathon website under the course section. You can click on the link, it'll take you to the marathon or the half marathon course. And at the very bottom, you can look at the elevation.
Okay. The next question says, will there be a baggage storage facility where I can leave my luggage before the race and pick it up after the race? I'm not sure if they're talking about luggage here or just race day stuff.
Yeah.
Daphne, answer for that one?
Well, we can't take your luggage. I would keep that at the hotel. Most of them, like I said, do a late checkout for our runners. So keep your luggage there. If you have a backpack or a small bag that you want to check for a finisher bag, that's what we call them, a finisher bag. You can do that, and you can just hand over your bag, put your number on it. There's a tear off tab on your bib. You can safety pin or zip tie it on your bag, and then we will take those to the finish area at New Belgium, and you can pick that up there, but we can't take suitcases.
Yeah.
So we have limited room.
Yeah. And a pro tip would be when you get to the start at the race, if you have a bag to drop off, just do that right away. I think a lot of times people all wait to the last minute, and then the line gets long and people get nervous that the race is going to start without them. So I would say drop your bag off, then do your stretches or
Yeah.
a little shakeout run the morning of. That's best.
The other
Next
thing,
question.
just to go along with that, I don't know if it's a question or not, and it might have been why somebody asked about the vintage t-shirt thing, because I know people will buy vintage shirts and then they'll use them as throwaway shirts at the start lines so that they can just have, a sweatshirt or something and then throw it off before they start if it's a little chilly and it's going to get warmer. Just FYI, we have a whole crew of people when you leave downtown that are cleaning, not just downtown at the start, but all the miles along the way. So anything that you leave on the course is going to a charity, local charity that we donate the clothing to. So if you don't want to lose your favorite sweatshirt or zip up hoodie or gloves, whatever it is that you throw off along the way, keep them with you, put it around your waist, put it in your pockets, because chances are it won't be there if you go back after the race to find it. So
Yeah, that's really hard to manage. I know I've seen people on the course occasionally like have a friend meet them at mile 10 and they'll peel off something and throw it to them. But other than that, if it's on the side of the road, yeah, its destiny is unsure. So the next question is there ample parking at the end of the race near the brewery? Allison, what do you think about that?
I'll tackle it. Okay, so we are recommending that you park downtown at the start and then ride the shuttle to the finish line. I know that is not ideal, that's not everyone's perfect scenario. People want to park at the brewery. And if you're local, you know that there is a parking lot at the brewery. Yes, there is. But we have lots of vendors and we have lots of volunteers and staff members, and we need the parking lot for medical and all of that. So there will be no spectator parking at New Belgium. There will be a map sent out with the event guide. I put it on there yesterday about other walking distance parking lots from New Belgium within RAD. They're not far away, and some of them are along the course, so you may be able to cheer on runners on your walk to New Belgium, but there will be no spectator parking at the brewery. If you cannot walk, if you have, somebody older with you, or you're worried about just getting the walking portion, you need to get a spectator shuttle ticket, and they will take you from Pack Square to the finish line at New Belgium, drop you off right at the front door, and you'll be at the finish line, and then you can ride that same bus right back later. We've got them running till late into the day, so don't panic about no parking at New Belgium. We've got shuttles to take care of you.
Yes. Yeah. So if you're not planning on walking, the shuttle is your best bet.
Yeah, and I just real quick, last year I noticed people were parking illegally on the side of roads and stuff. You will be towed if you do that. So, I would just recommend keep it simple. And if you park downtown, there's tons of parking garages. Your car stays safe for you and for your family, and have them get on the shuttle bus to see you at the finish. And I'll talk about that. I'm sure somebody's asked a spectator question. But trying to park around New Belgium is going to be difficult for you. And we don't want you to have undue stress, you or your family. So, yeah.
And I promise that the last thing your marathoner wants to do when they finish is go to a tow yard. So let's not experience that.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have an awesome shuttle. I know locally in Asheville, we have a pretty strong Uber network. So that's always an option if you don't want to wait, or you want to go somewhere that the shuttle doesn't go. But yeah, nobody wants to get towed. There's a lot of movement in the River Arts District right now between amazing volunteers that are helping clean stuff up, and the Army Corps of Engineers. And so we also don't want to be in their way with illegally parked cars, because they're doing such an amazing thing for our community right now. Let's see, how much nutrition is available on the course? I plan to carry, but a little hard to know how much I need. Suggestions on what are the good guidelines for this?
Yeah, we've learned over the years that people's tummies are all different, and what they train with is all different. And so we provide the basics. We will have some jam bars at each station, or most of the stations. We'll have Gatorade as the electrolyte drink. We will have some fruit chewies in some of the later marathon miles, as well as some pretzels and some fruit, some pickle juice, and some Coke. But I would just suggest that you carry whatever your favorite gel is, whatever your favorite electrolyte drink is. Nowadays, it's so easy to do that. And I think that's really what the trend is that you carry what you prefer, and then you don't have to stop along the way.
Yeah. And we actually just yesterday, we recorded another little fun podcast with Jessica and Carol, who are our local race advocates. And they're going to they talk about nutrition, things that you might want to consider as we kind of get into the home stretch here. So that will be coming out in the coming days, if it's not already sent out when we publish this podcast. So make sure you check that out as well, because that's got some good tips on that stuff. The next question, are there any groups doing long runs on the weekends that I may be able to take part in? Allison?
Well, we are doing the Shakeout Run on Friday at New Belgium that was mentioned. As far as run clubs and things like that, there is a huge amount of run clubs in the Asheville area. Most of them meet during the week at a brewery or something. The Fleet Feet Run Club is on Tuesday nights in Biltmore Park. Are they doing their Saturday morning running right now? Does anyone know?
I don't think so.
They're not right now.
It's back yet.
okay, a lot of our run clubs have kind of taken a pause from the hurricane because of the greenway situation. But we can also look on Strava. Strava may have some information, or there's an Asheville runners group on Facebook that you can always just post. I see people post all the time, like, hey, I'm headed out for 10 miles. Does anyone want to join me this weekend? And you might make a new running friend.
Yeah, and if you come to the Plogging on Sunday and want to do a log run while you pick up trash, like, we would love to have you do that. So that would be a group run as well.
Yeah. The next question says, I am staying at the DoubleTree for race weekend, but declined my shuttle ticket. Is there a way I could request it back? I also need to buy one for my spectator. Amy.
Yes. Yes. So I've had a lot of people email already whose plans have changed, or they decided they did want the shuttle or didn't want the shuttle. And I have gotten several emails from people who have asked me to update that in their registration. And am very easily able to do that. You can email support@idaf.net. That comes to me, and just let me know, hey, I need to update my shuttle. Yes, I'm taking it. No, I'm not. And I can update that for you on your registration. And spectator shuttle tickets, quickest, easiest way to purchase those is through Race Roster, where you registered. On the side, there's a menu that says Race Store. Click that button. It'll take you to the store, and the spectator shuttle tickets can be purchased there for $20. And they'll be digitally emailed to you.
Okay.
No. We'll also have them at the merch stand at the expo if you're not sure what your plans are or whatever, and you just want to make that game time decision on Friday.
Okay. This next question is kind of the same. I want to ride the shuttle from the sponsor hotel, but I'm not staying at the hotel. Is this allowed? If yes, where and what time is the shuttle?
So I've gotten this email quite a bit as well. If you're not staying at one of the sponsor hotels, which would be the DoubleTree Hotel and the Hampton, they're both side by side. The shuttle picks up. It's at the back of DoubleTree, right, Daphne? Yeah, where it picks up. If you're not staying there, usually we sell out both of those hotels, and parking is going to be extremely limited. We can't guarantee that there'll be somewhere to park there. But yes, if you get there and there's a parking space, you're welcome to catch the shuttle there to the start line to downtown. And the shuttle times are 5:45 a.m. to 7 a.m. Last one will leave at 7 a.m.
Okay. Let's see here. The next two questions really deal with spectators. It says, do you have any suggested routes or plans for spectators who want to catch runners at multiple points during the marathon? I looked at the course, and it looks like it might be difficult to get back after hanging out the first couple miles. This is my first marathon, and my family wants to make sure they're able to support me as much as possible. And then the other question is, we're coming from Pennsylvania. There will be 3 of us running the half, and my wife will be a spectator. Is there any way for her to walk to different locations on the course and still get back to the start to catch the shuttle after the race obviously takes off? If so, can you explain where she can walk in order to see us, or would you recommend her to just head to the finish via shuttle? I think these are all kind of loaded into one response. Daphne, if you want to talk about the spectator experience and any tips or tricks so people have the best experience with their runners.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for the safety of the runners is that, if there's 22 to 2,500 runners in this race, that they don't have family trying to follow them around on the course in cars. It's just not safe. And so, and the race, goes through all different parts of town. And so spectators taking the shuttle from the start line to the finish is going to be the safest thing for your runner, for your family member that you want to see. The nice thing about the course is that at the start line, you could see your person start. You could hang out downtown for a little while, get some coffee, get some breakfast at a little restaurant, and then mile 10 comes back almost to the start line on College Street. And so you could see your runner again at mile 10. Now, if they're a super fast runner, like 5 minute mile, this isn't going to work for you because they can get from 10 to 13 too fast. But you could hang out if they're a little bit of a slower runner downtown to mile 10 and then take the shuttle and go to the finish to see them at mile 13 or at mile 26. So you could see them on the course as well as the start and the finish. If you are just bound and determined to try to see your runner on the course, I would say the best neighborhood to do that would be the Montford neighborhood, because they are going to be crisscrossing several streets in Montford. There is street parking in Montford, and that's miles 5 to 9, essentially. So you could see them multiple times, especially if you have studied the race map. You could take Hill Street, which is in Montford, down to Riverside Drive, and Riverside Drive will take you to New Belgium fairly easily, or to some of the parking lots that Allison has referred to that you could park in and then walk over to New Belgium. So that would be my suggestion if you're a half person, a half marathon person, and you want to see your person on the course. I don't necessarily recommend it. I would recommend option 1. But if you're bound and determined to do it, that would be how to see them on the course. For the marathon, I would say, you could easily watch the start, watch them at mile 10, take the shuttle, go down to New Belgium on the shuttle, get dropped off there, and then you can walk, depending on the timeline of how fast or slow your runner is. You could either walk down onto the New Belgium side of the Greenway, which is the last mile 24, 25, 26. You could see them there and then walk up to the finish. You can do that by going across Haywood Bridge and going down a little Greenway area, or New Belgium has some back steps that you could go down to see your runner on that stretch. If you have a lot of time, you could actually go across Haywood Bridge. You could go down to the Riverside Drive in the River Arts District, where the Rad Gear sign is at, the Greenway, because the runners will be on that stretch twice, more at the beginning at mile 13, and then later on at like mile 18 and 19. So that is another spot that you could see them, that you could walk to. So there are places to definitely see your runner, but I would use the shuttle to do that.
Yeah. And definitely, if you're not planning on doing the shuttle and you're going to just go out and pick some spots, please study the course so that you're not trying to take risks crossing through runners. That's just bad news, and we don't want anybody to be in danger. So just please be.
Yeah, also the downtown shuttles, just so you know, for spectators, they'll run from 7:30 to 7:45-ish after the race starts. They'll go ahead and take a couple bus loads of spectators down to New Belgium who just want to go do that, which is totally fine. You don't have to hang out in downtown till mile 10. So they'll take those folks down. But if you did want to hang out in downtown Asheville for a little while and get coffee or breakfast or whatever, from 8:45 to 10 a.m., that's when most folks are expected to come through mile 10. During that time frame, the shuttles will take spectators down to the finish. So you have, two possibilities right at the start, or if you want to wait till like 8:45 to 10 to go down to New Belgium, you can.
Okay, good stuff. The next question, is there any restrictions on hydration vests? We are not allowing jetpacks this year, so no, you can't wear a jetpack. But other than that, I don't believe we have any restrictions on hydration vests. So hydrate away. It says, we are coming from Pennsylvania and staying in Boone with my son, who's a senior at App State. Go App State. There will be 3 of us running the half. I'm not 100% sure if we can make it to the Friday packet pickup. I see on the FAQs that we can pick up our race numbers on race day at the start and then get our packets at the finish. 3 questions. With that, that's the context. I believe these are all going to be you, Amy. Since we pre-registered, will we get the shirt sizes we registered for, even with getting the packets at the finish line?
So we can't guarantee the shirt sizes once the race begins, because as people do finish and start coming in, we do allow people to swap sizes, as we mentioned earlier. There is a pre-event shipping option. I'm not sure if when we'll get this podcast out, but if it's still on, the deadline is Sunday the 23rd at midnight, and you can just pay a fee to have your shirt and race bib shipped to you in advance, and there's no question that you'll have it. And then anything else that you order, you can pick up at the race.
Okay. This same group said, we also ordered extra items, shirts, mugs, and hats. If we don't make it to packet pickup, how will we get those?
Yeah. So all those items, if you don't make it to the Race Expo on Friday, those will be picked up at the merchandise tent after the race.
Okay. And last question for this group. If by some chance we are able to find someone in Asheville to get our packets at the Expo, will the extra items we ordered, the hats, the mugs, shirts, be included in our packets, or will that person have to go to a different area to get those?
Okay, so you will come in to pick up your bib in one room. The merchandise is adjacent to that, just to the side. When you come out, it's just adjacent to the side. That's the merchandise area, and that's where those things will be. And then they'll head down to the Race Expo to pick up your race shirt and visit the Expo vendors.
All right. So
I think that every runner needs to come to the Expo personally. It just gets you in the spirit. It's so much fun. It's like just the prequel to the race, and a great way to meet people, and just, I just think that if it's a possibility for you to get to the Expo, I mean, we've extended the hours to 7 p.m., that you find a way to get there. You try your best. I think you'll just have a less stressful experience, and you'll get to enjoy the Expo.
Yep. And we'll all be there along with some of our amazing ambassadors. So there's just, if last minute questions come up, it's great that you can just talk to people. We all always love talking to participants. It's such a great way to kind of kick off race weekend.
Justin, let me just throw one other thing. I'm surprised we didn't get this question this year, but usually we do. People want to know, can they meet their pacer or talk to their pacer? So we have an amazing pace team. And John is our pacer coordinator, and he will be at the Expo all day, Friday from 11 to 7. Some of the pacers will be there as well. But people generally have some questions regarding pacers, and John is your go-to guy at the Expo. So, yep.
Yeah, and besides the shakeout run, I mean, sometimes just coming to the Expo and chatting with people is the best way to kind of shake out those nerves. I notice a lot of people that we talk to always just feel better when they talk to some locals or talk to some pacers, and they just kind of get an idea of what race day is going to be all about. So please, make that a priority.
Yep.
And we
have some cool vendors too. You can get race nutrition there, lots of things. It's fun.
Yeah, Fleet Feet will be there with shoes. All of our vendors will be there a lot of times with samples or awesome promotions like different giveaways, just all kinds of great things. And we're on the last question here. I will be a participant of the half marathon. I'll be coming from Kenya. So will I be picked up from the airport? First of all, that's amazing. Thank you for coming to our event from Kenya. It's a long drive. And we're so glad to have you. But unfortunately, I don't believe we have any accommodations to get you picked up from the airport. I know that Asheville Airport does have a transportation section, whether you rent a car or choose to use like a cab or an Uber. There's an area for that. And I know that they're a great airport and they'll definitely take care of you. So I would look at their website and what services they offer to get you from where you're going to. I assume you're staying in a hotel. Yeah, we're very excited to have you. So thanks for asking your question. We look forward to seeing you. That being said, that we made it through all the questions. Anybody have anything else that we missed, or we good? All right. So I think we're good. Like I said before, the event guide will probably be out by the time this podcast airs. We'll have a new nutrition podcast out. Support@idaf.net is always the best way to send us a question. The sooner you ask, the better. As we get closer to race day, things start to get crazy. And yeah, we are really looking forward to this year's event. We are so grateful for everybody who's participating, and it's going to be amazing.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, we didn't. Oh, sorry, real quick. We didn't. I think we talked about like other events and stuff. The post-race party at New Belgium is going to be awesome. We're going to have vendors post-race. We're going to have food. So there's going to be food trucks, pastries. So if you're a spectator that gets dropped off at New Belgium, there's coffee and pastries at New Belgium ready for you to buy. There's going to be 1 or 2 food trucks. We're going to have Recover will be there set up with more swag. We will have swag to buy, finisher shirts that say 26.2 and 13.1, so you can sport that the rest of the day. And a couple other vendors, and that's where you'll get your finisher bag if you've checked it. But New Belgium's going to be a party, and we're going to be there all day, and it's going to be really fun. It's beautiful. Yeah, there's going to be a band, a DJ. Our awesome MCs will be there cheering you across the finish line. And there's a back porch that overlooks the French Broad River, and it's just gorgeous, and it's going to be so much fun. So plan on staying at New Belgium if it's cold or if it's warm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's going to be warm.
It's going to be balmy in the 60s.
Yes. It's going to be a nice 55.
Yeah. Just
awesome.
For the runners.
Thanks for adding that. I totally, I'm surprised we didn't get a question, but thank you all for listening. If you made it this far, you're awesome. We can't wait to see you in just a couple days.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you.